from time immemorial. We are not going to be able to take even those small baby steps that we were talking about in the morning.
She was asking me about what kind of impact the Vishaka judgment had or rather. I would say that it's a long-term impact. I don't say that I find the impact immediately, first of all. Second thing is, even somebody else is asking what violations, where do we file the cases, do we go to this court or SHRC office? I would say file it everywhere. Right from magistrate court to the High Court to the Supreme Court to the statute. If there is a violation against a statute, or it's a violation against human rights basically, or it's a violation against natural justice. So the violation is there and you are sure about the violation, then you file a petition and give publicity. Make the judges aware that these are the things happening. Then the laws have been formed not because it just came to somebody's head, it came about because of the violations. And we have Indian Penal Code, you keep saying about Indian Penal Code. Of course, Indian Penal Code treats women as a commodity owned by man. If you have a sexual intercourse with a married woman with the permission of the husband, it's allowed. It's not an offense. Only thing is you have to take the permission of the husband. So there's no consent there about the woman being clean or being she regarded or being she mentally ill. It doesn't matter. So, Indian Penal Code, why are women's organization not taking it up? Because so many things are there, like she was saying about marital status. Marital status, we know in cases where the man is not. I would want the group working on the issue to be involved in filing the petition. Lawyers will be very much prejudiced about how the judges, what the lawyers. You are the ones who will tell us how to go about it because culture is very important. Culture of that area is very important. The kind of people against whom violation has taken place is important. It could be a new issue. Like she had filed a petition, it could be a brand new issue which is coming to the court. Not that the issue did not exist before. The issue has been there all along. But the issue bringing to the mainstream, bringing to the newspaper, bringing to the court, bringing to everybody's middle class homes is an important thing which only the groups can do. The groups only can do that and they can do it with the proper focus. In spite of it, I'm not assuming that we may get bad judgment. I'm not saying we are like proof 100%. I'm not saying that. But it is important that we keep bringing it up. We keep bringing it up. We can't just keep quiet. You know, violence takes place every day against women. We keep bringing it up. That's how domestic violence law came about. So I think that what she was saying about the linkages, it has to be there. The lawyers have to be educated because they get into a kind of a set thinking that these are the laws, we can't go, we have to educate them. And that comes about with you. And this is one of the ways. I would say that it has to be taken up seriously and to be, I'm not because I'm an HRLN lawyer, but I feel that it's a big thing.
We'll conclude the discussion. Thanks everyone. And everybody should be back. Lunch is now served, so everybody is supposed to be back there at sharp work.
Amy? Yes, Amy. And Jashodra? Come Jashodra. This is quite an intensive session, so I think we'll start as quickly as possible. Come on if you don't mind. Please come up if you don't mind. Come on.
actually accelerated this process of them disappearing along with their system, which developed over centuries, even millennia. And the whole society will be at a great loss if the dye tradition disappears. That's aside from the public health effects and the systemic questions. I thought what I did was I took extensive notes yesterday, and this morning I didn't look at the notes. I simply thought to myself how I would think about this whole issue and try to convey what I think is important. I came up with 4 major issues of the dyes. This is all born, of course, from that discussion and from the experience that we've had in the Jiva project, where we're researching with dyes now extending from our pilot area in Jharkhand and Bokaro district to 3 other sites in 4 states, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. 4 issues of dyes which are very important: identity, skills, livelihood, and their systemic role as healthcare caregiver. And to kind of make the linkage from the start, I'm linking these issues, the issue of identity with their organization and their systemic role with functional linkages in the current formal system. Now, we are talking about a group of women, marginalized women. The majority of them are among the poorest of the poor. Most of them probably are Dalit. They're also from tribal and other caste groups, even upper caste groups. Very, very diverse eco-cultural contexts, and they're very flexible solutions. It's very, very challenging. And of course, the question here will be, how can legal interventions help these processes of strengthening and fortifying the dyes in their system? As far as identity goes, there are great diversities. They're active, of course, in all the marginalized communities. They used to be active throughout the country. Recent evidence has shown that they're even active today in the urban areas. There's a study which I heard a presentation about a while ago from 2007 in Delhi, covering 15 lakh population in resettlement colonies within the city limits of Delhi, which showed that these are low-income localities. 47% home births, most of them attended by dyes. And these are traditional dyes in the city of Delhi. There are similar figures, I'm told. I don't know about the availability of the figures, but I'm told that they're available from the other large cities, from Bombay, from Calcutta, from Ahmedabad, and other places. Tribal communities also have traditions of midwifery, which we might call the dye tradition, but they're different. Another thing is that within the issues of dyes and addressing the issues of dyes requires that the principle of equity is embraced, and equity is something dyes were linked with British hospitals. So it's kind of a term that's been foisted on people and taken up by the Indian government health system after independence. So that even in dye trainings, you have groups of, in particular areas where there are patterns of household women or women from the community who look after the delivering of the baby, and then a Dalit woman who comes to cut the cord and do the postpartum work. You see a caste-based division of labor, which becomes very problematic when you gather those so-called dyes, none of whom are locally called dyes. But you gather those dyes together in a room and proceed to give them dye training, which was what the government tried to do for a long time. Who are you training, and training to do what? Because there are two distinct, in that type of pattern, there are the baby deliverers and there are the cord cutters, to put it very crudely. Even though I would like to use those terms, baby deliverers and cord cutters, because I think it's one needs to be more sensitive than that. But the fact is that there is a lot of diversity in what the dyes are doing in their identity as well. I'm using the term dyes because somehow it's a convenient rubric to use to talk about these women who are concerned with the care of women around childbirth. But I want everyone to recognize that even the use of the word dye is problematic. Now, the knowledge and the skills of dyes is very much part of their identity issue. These skills have been evolved in an eco-cultural environment, in many eco-cultural environments, locally involved over very long times, which are